To our times now, do you think that the meeting today...
NATO has two tasks in the war in Ukraine, and that first is to provide support to Ukraine and to ensure that Ukraine prevails. NATO is not party to the conflict, but we support Ukraine, and NATO allies have provided unprecedented support. The other task we have is to prevent this war from escalating beyond Ukraine and become a full-fledged war between Russia and NATO. And to ensure that, we have significantly increased our military presence in the eastern part of the alliance with more troops backed by significant air and naval power to send a very clear message to Moscow that we protect every inch of NATO territory. An attack on one ally will trigger a response from the whole alliance. And therefore we have now more military presence in the Baltic countries, in Poland, in Romania, in the eastern flank. And the United States is leading. The United States has increased its military presence in Europe, 10,000 troops in Poland, increased presence in Romania, in the Baltic countries, together with all the NATO allies. So this is to prevent escalation. This is to provide credible deterrence, not to provoke a conflict, but to prevent the conflict and preserve peace.
As soon as possible, how do you define that in terms of time? You think a bad sign, do you read it as a warning sign?
For as long as it takes, we stand by Ukraine, because it will be a tragedy for the Ukrainians if President Putin wins in Ukraine, but it will also be dangerous for all of us, because that will send a message to all authoritarian leaders that when they use military force, they get what they want. That will make the world more dangerous, us more vulnerable, and that's the reason why the meeting in Warsaw today sent this very strong message of unity in providing support to Ukraine.
Any real signs that, apart from declarations, of course, that
China and Russia are coming closer, are standing together, and of course China is one of the few countries that have not been able to condemn Russia's brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. And we also are concerned about that China may be planning for also providing military support to Russia to support this illegal war, and of course China should not do that. Because that will be to provide direct support to blatant violation of international law, and of course a member of the UN Security Council, China should not in any way support violation of the UN Charter, the international law. Yeah, but I am going to host the meetings. I think we know it before them. Yeah. Turkey is moving closer to being ready to ratify and welcoming Finland into the alliance, but they continue to have some challenges with Sweden. But I also welcome that President Erdogan and I, we agreed to meet in Brussels, to have a meeting of experts and officials in Brussels from Sweden, Finland and Turkey, to look into how we can make progress also on the ratification of Sweden as a full NATO ally. The most important issue is not whether Finland and Sweden joins exactly at the same time. The most important issue is that we ensure that both join NATO as soon as possible.